Welcome back to part 2 of this CF Charlie 3-speed automatic. Right, we're going to try and get this carb off. I've undone one pipe. In there, down there somewhere, is another one. So what we're going to do, down here, there's a couple of bolts we'll undo to try and get the carb out. This here, it's got to come off. We'll find out why it's just letting the petrol piss straight through it. I think it's the float stuck, or the needle on the float. So down there, we'll try and get them undone. Right, let me crack on. Okay, we've got the bowl off and we can see the fuzzy shit in the bottom of that. Yeah, there's crap all in there. That's all got to be cleaned out. And in here, it looks like the actual needle here is stuck. So I'll take this out and see if we can get it all freed up. And that hopefully will cure the fuel running out everywhere. But everything seems a bit seized up at the minute. I'll show you when I've got it apart a bit more. Well guys, I'm sorry to say, it's all back together now. What happened was, we had some road, Severn and Trent or whatever, come down, decided to get a still saw out and a whacker plate and a digger to do some work in the road. So I couldn't actually video it because it was just so noisy here. But all it was the needle and seat. I freed the needle off on the float, put it back together, and fuel's on now, and we've got no leaks. So that's all it was, because the float had been stuck down for so long, it just frozen in place. Just freed it off, and yeah, job done. So we're going to have to find another job to start with. I've got the petrol tank out. I'm going to give that a clean because of the stale fuel in it. And then we can probably plumb that back up to the carb. So anyway, let's crack on a little bit. Okay, we're having a look at this tank, and I've tried blowing up this, and we're getting nothing. It don't matter what I turn this to, it's just blocked up solid. Get a torch, see if I can show you. Right, and if you'll see in there, try and get some light. In there, it's obviously blocked up somewhere. Let's see if we can see it. Anyway, and it's hard to shine light down in there. What I'm going to have to do is take this off and see what's going on with it. But it absolutely reeks of stale fuel. So I'll get a spanner, we'll undo that and see what we discover. Well, I've undone it. That is clear. I can blow in that. But this, oh, it stinks. If you've ever dealt with stale fuel, you'll know what I'm on about. Right, so somewhere it's blocked in here. So that's what I'm going to have to have a little investigation on. We'll see if we can pull it apart a bit and have a look. As I find stuff, I'll bring you back. Right then, I can't even blow through this pipe here. It's hard to show, I can't show you, but that is blocked as well. Can't blow through this. There's all gunge in there. If it'll focus, I can get the light right. So there's gunge in there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stick it in the ultrasonic cleaner and see if that will free any of the gunk up in there. It's got two chances, so I'm going to get my little ultrasonic out and drop it in there, see what happens. Right, let me show you how blocked this pipe is with stuff. I've got it on the airline here, and you can see that's on full pressure and there's nothing happening. I'll show you that. Pull this pipe off, how much pressure is going through that line. You can see. And that's how blocked it is. And I should imagine it's the same in there as well. Right, let's go and put it in the ultrasonic. Okay, the ultrasonic cleaner has worked. It's cleared this pipe out now. And in here, this is where I'm digging out from behind the seal. You can see this stuff. Must be old fuel and stuff, but now it's clear. I'll just keep fishing them bits out, and hopefully it'll work then, as long as everything's alright inside. Alright, so let me carry on fishing this crap out of here, this stuff. It'll focus there. This goo. Yeah. Horrible stuff. Right, let's crack on. And there we go. All back together. We've got no leaks. I've tried the fuel tap. That's working, as you can see by the stain on the floor. So I'm going to just drop this tank back in, and then it'll be able to run on its own fuel system. Right, just drop this tank in here. Hardest bit is threading the pipe back through down there to get to there. It may take a bit of jiggling around, but we'll get it back in. Well, there you go. Tank's back in, bit fiddly. Now it's running on its own tank. We've got no leaks up to yet, touch wood. Still a bit smoky, but it sort of clears. I think the valve stem seals might be a bit hard. So, yeah, push it on, get in there. Yeah, a bit fiddly in there. There's a tiny little hole up there for this to feed through, but we got it through. Right, next job, let's have a think about it. Right, I've had a little think about where we're going to go next, and I think we're going to go in there. As you can see, that's in a right mess down there. This doesn't move at all, so I think we'll have the back wheel out and have a look in there. So I'll get that bolt undone there, and we'll drop the back end out and have a look what state that's in, get that freed up. Well, as usual, that nice little job of getting the spindle out turned into a nightmare because it was seized, the spindle was, wherever it's gone there. But I've GT85'd it up, and now we're getting some movement, but it still ain't coming out. We'll work some more GT85, see if we can get it further in, and keep going at it. We're coming across the bits that are seized in pretty tight now. Get some of that. Work it back in and out. See if we can get it to move out completely. Alright, let me crack on. Yeah, very tight. Right, after 20 minutes of wrestling with the spindle, I've got it out. Yeah, it's dry as a bone, and seized in there a bit. Oh, if it keeps going out of focus. Anyway, I haven't looked. I'll just put the wheel out here. So we'll have a look together. At least that's coming out. Oh. Get a bit of better light. And actually that don't look too bad compared to the last one. So hopefully it's just seized on there. So we'll have to get that unseized. So we'll have that apart, or try and work some GT85 into it and work it in the vice and get it freed up. So let's get on with that. Let's get that in the vice, get the brake shoes off and have a diddle with it. So the problem, this seized, as you can see, I can move the vice and nothing's happening. So that is seized through there to the other side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get some heat on here, heat all this up and screw a load of GT85 down, see if we can get it to free up. So let me get my blowtorch and start heating it up. Basically all I'm going to do is get this hot. And hopefully it'll free up. There's nothing in there that I can damage as such. So plenty of heat. As I'm running out of gas. Great, run out of gas. Right then, I'll have to find something else, another torch. I've got one lying around somewhere. But as I say, we'll just get all this really hot, get some GT down it, and then try and start working it free. Right, let me find another gas bottle. So, got another gas bottle. And we'll just heat it up round. Start getting a bit of GT as it gets hot. Whoa! Don't worry about that while the flame's on it. Make you jump. Right, let me heat it up. Doing this sort of job when it's seized, heat's going to be your best friend to free everything up. Right, you can see it's starting to smoke now. Put that there. Right, just blow them flames out and just let that get penetrating into it. And then what I'm going to do, I've got a soft hammer, one of these, and then I'm just going to start, let's see what happens now, just start giving it little taps. I think that actually moved then. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's actually moving now. And that's what I'm going to keep doing until it frees up. Right, so you get the general idea how to do it. Don't go mad at it, just take your time, and work it, and it should come free. Right, that's probably took me 5 minutes to sort out. Now, as you can see, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. The spring on the back, down here, when pressure goes on it, it's to make it return, and there you go. Lovely. So basically I'll give this a clean up, give these a clean up as well. There's a bit of meat left on them. We can stick them in till we decide whether we're going to put new ones in or where we're going. I'm having trouble finding the actual cable to work this, so if anyone's got any ideas where I can get one from for the front brake, well, the brake lever to the back brake, I need the cable for that. I'm struggling to find one. So anyway, that's how you do that. Nice and easy. Just don't burn yourself. I'm got the same problem with the front one. I've soaked everything down with GT85. We'll have the front one out and sort that out, so at least we'll have a front brake that should work if the cable isn't seized. Right then, let's crack on again. Well, I've pushed on and put the back wheel back in. The spindle's all greased. Everything's back together as it should be. All these jobs I'm doing at the minute are just preliminary, just sussing out what this bike's going to need. Now, as you can see, that's working properly, as it should. So, like I say, I'm just going round and round, just trying to put things right, find out, do I want to put new pads in there, or shoes, as such. So this is the next one. We'll have this off, do the same again, and guarantee that you see solid. Yep. So let's get this off and have a look at this one. Well, that surprised me, because that, okay, I put a bit of GT85 around that earlier, but that is free. So it's the cable that's frozen solid up here. You can't move it, it's solid. Hang on, I can show you. Whoop. Held on tight. Right, that is solid. So the cable's froze. So we'll drop it down, we'll get that off. If we can get that off, and see what we can do with it. Yeah, it's just frozen solid cable. Right, and get that out of there like that, and see if we can get some, mind the fingers, see if we can get some GT85 down and see what happens. Right, this front brake, it is seized absolutely solid. I've undone the bolt here and there, and it will not come out from there. So the only thing I can do is actually cut it, because it's that bad. I'm going to have to get an hacksaw in here, cut it from there to get the thing apart, because the last thing I want to do is damage any of this. So it's cheaper and easier to do that. I don't like it, but it's the only way I can do it. Well, I know I work in a mad way, and that's why I do it, is when you find things like this. Right, that's fine now, that works free. The cable was absolutely shot to bits. When you order stuff, there's nothing worse than doing a job and then having to reorder because of the postage on the stuff, especially if you use like Shire's bikes. Postage isn't cheap. Good service, but not cheap. So I try and get everything I need together and order it in one hit. That way it does save a bit of money in the end. Right guys, and girls maybe, I've actually sussed out the electrical problem. And it turns out why I'm getting no feed to the indicators and the horn was down to the ignition. Although I'd picked the lock, you needed a power. There's 6 wires running into it and must be inside the actual, if I can find this bit here, there must be connectors that must bridge 2 lives, one to send power to the horn and the indicators. So I ended up popping that off and then working it with a screwdriver, and obviously the contacts must have been furred up in it, and now we have what we need. We actually have horn, indicators. Let's try the other side. Hold tight. Got that side. That side. Oh, maybe the battery's a bit flat. But where are you gone? Where you wandered off to? Yeah, this battery's probably a bit flat. It's just an old battery I'd got. But yeah, we got brake lights somewhere. There you go, got brake lights as well. So the electrics are now sorted. But it probably took me about 5 hours to actually suss it out. I'd had all this out. I kept tracing all the wiring back up to here before I actually solved the problem. But now we're there, so I can get this back together and start looking for the next job. Right then, as you can see, it's running. Very smoky, but we'll live with that for a bit. We have headlights, indicator, other indicator, high and low, and the brake light works. There you go, so all the electrics are working. Oh, and the horn. There you go. Right then, I'm just going to go round and generally just start tidying up a bit. We're sort of in a mess. So, I'll be back to you in a second. Well, there you go. I've had a bit of a clean up. Took that cover off there, just wanted to have a look what it was behind there, and that's what's behind there. I've soaked the bike down now, GTA 5, so I'm going to be stuck for bits. I think the bits are going to have to come from Cyprus, so that may take a little while. So what do? We just soak it down and let everything get penetrated. So I'm going to call it on this one, and we'll come back when we've got some parts to fit, and we'll just carry on from there. Thanks to the new subscribers. If you put a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. It'll help the channel a little bit. And I'm down. I'm gone.